We've been building dams across rivers for thousands of years, as far back as ancient Mesopotamia. And, generally speaking, they've been a great success, powering machinery, controlling flooding, and storing water. But there's a catch. Dams do terrible things to the environment. They transform a river's ecosystem practically overnight, leading to algae blooms and even greenhouse gas emissions. And if you're a fish, I probably don't need to convince you, a dam is not what you want to see ahead of you. Luckily, there's a solution. If we don't need a dam anymore, it's sometimes possible to get rid of the damn thing. So let's take a look at just how much better things can get when a dam comes down. We've built a ton of dams. There might be over 16 million of them around the world. Not all of these are Hoover-sized megastructures. Most are less than 10 meters tall. They do all kinds of jobs, turning water wheels that power mills or other machinery, or storing water for irrigation or drinking. All good things. Large, modern dams power hydroelectric generators, which make up the largest renewable energy source currently in use. But many older dams just no longer serve the purpose they were originally built for. Europe has 150,000 dams just sitting around, their function no longer needed. And old dams continue to cause environmental issues. Building a dam turns a fast-moving river into a slow-moving lake. That stagnant water behind a dam traps nutrients that cause algae blooms and starve the water of oxygen. Organic matter from the flooded land decomposes, emitting greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide and methane. And of course, they block fish swimming up or downstream, which is a bigger problem than just for the fish themselves. Fish like salmon carry nutrients from the ocean far up rivers and fertilize entire ecosystems on land. Think of the fat bears. They're snacking on salmon, meaning energy and nutrients are traveling from sea to land. What this means is that ecosystems can get a big boost from dam removal. Take the Klamath River that runs from southern Oregon into the Pacific Ocean in northern California. This used to be the third largest salmon-producing river on the west coast of the US. But for over 100 years, the river has been blocked by 6 hydroelectric dams. In addition to blocking the salmon's migration, the stagnant water grew algae, which used up the oxygen in the water that the fish depend on. Fish populations in the Klamath fell by over 90%. So for decades, the indigenous Yurok people have been calling for the removal of the dams. Dams are often built without consulting indigenous peoples. They can displace those people or destroy their way of life. The Yurok people basically said, "We'll be having our river back now." And on the Klamath, thanks to this advocacy, 4 of the 6 dams came out. This is the largest dam removal that has been conducted anywhere ever. And the process of restoring the land has also been indigenous-led. The newly drained land was hand-planted with native seeds of plants that will stabilize sediment, provide food, and hold cultural significance. As we're filming this, it's still too early to fully see the ecological results of these dams coming down. But forecasts say salmon populations will recover by 81% over the next 40 years. And these predictions are based on it working elsewhere. When the Elwha River Dam in Washington came down in 2012, by just a year later, over 4,000 Chinook salmon had returned to waters that were previously blocked. Scientists looked at the feathers and blood of fish-eating birds and found they contained nutrients that could be traced back to the ocean, meaning a good chunk of the ecosystem had started to bounce back right away. We'll talk more about how those ecosystems can bounce back, but first, all science needs funding. Here's how we get ours.
This SciShow video is supported by 1 in 10,000 of you. Yeah, you, the person watching this video, could be a SciShow patron and help us make this awesome channel possible. Right now, 1 in 10,000 SciShow viewers support us on Patreon. Those are the people who allow us to make videos about animals having sex preserved in amber, and other topics that sponsors aren't exactly begging us to talk about. But those are the things that make SciShow fun and better every year. Like, we've started making longer videos that take a deep dive into topics from ancient Roman shipwrecks to the Chimpanzee War. Those videos do take more resources to make, but you seem to like them as much as we do. So to help us make more of the stuff that you like, please support us on Patreon or just grab a limited edition SciShow postcard before February 3rd. For $25, you can get a postcard signed by your favorite SciShow hosts and keep our work going. You can find them at the links below or at complexly.com/postcard.
Removing dams can improve water quality too. The Saloon River winds its way through Normandy, France, but 2 large dams built in the early 20th century trapped sediment and nutrients like phosphorus and silica behind them. This was a feeding frenzy for algae, causing massive blooms and low oxygen in the river water. In 2019, the largest dam removal project in Europe began in order to take them both out. Scientists are closely monitoring the Saloon until at least 2027 to study how the river and surrounding ecosystem responds. They've seen that nutrient levels quickly rebound on each side of where the dams once stood. Sediment in the downstream water has increased, which means the water is now actually less clear in many places than it was with the dams. It's a bit counterintuitive, but clear water can be a bad thing because the energy in the water that would have otherwise gone into transporting sediment instead ends up eroding the riverbank. Removing a dam also starts to release some of the sediment that built up behind it over the decades. This is still happening on the Saloon, and scientists are closely monitoring the sediment release to find out what effect it has. This last example we want to tell you about is very close to home for us here at SciShow. Literally. The Milltown Dam was a hydroelectric dam completed in 1907, about 10 kilometers upstream of SciShow's home in Missoula, Montana. But the dam didn't stand for long before a big problem came rushing toward it. In 1908, a massive flood washed mining runoff contaminated with heavy metals like arsenic down the Clark Fork River. Remember how dams trap sediment? Well, the brand new Milltown Dam suddenly had millions of cubic meters of poisoned dirt trapped behind it. It sat there for nearly a century, the arsenic poisoning fish and leaching into the groundwater. Eventually, it contaminated the drinking water used by Milltown's residents. So, in 2006, work began to take down the dam and scoop up all that sediment. This was no easy task. Cleaning up toxic substances like arsenic is tricky. In 1973, the Fort Edward Dam in New York came down, but nearby factories had used toxic PCBs for decades prior, which had stuck to sediments held behind that dam. The chemicals washed downstream, causing a decades-long cleanup project. Lesson learned, the order in Milltown went: divert river first, remove sediment second, dismantle dam third. Restoration of this site has been so successful that it's now the Milltown State Park, which opened in 2018. You can take your kids for a picnic at the local Superfund site, and it's like a pleasant afternoon. These are only a few examples. As of 2019, there have been around 1,700 dam removals in the US and 4,900 in Europe. And it's clear that when done carefully, dam removal can restore ecosystems, fix the problems the dam created in the first place, and create some pretty awesome spaces for people as well. So even though dams have done some useful stuff for us, sometimes the best thing they can do is go.